Your sense of adventure, has that always been, I guess, a part of you, or has that sort of like come out like later on in life?
No, I think it started really young, to be honest. My grandfather was a guy. My grandfather was an ex-international rugby league player. A Pom, Yorkshireman. He played in 2 grand finals at Wembley. He toured Australia in 1936. My dad was ex Air Force, and for myself, I guess my adventures really started at the age of 16, 17 when I left home. So I left school at year 10 and joined the British Army. And so I had a couple of tours of duty in some really interesting places. And it just went on from there. So the Army was the real start for myself.
And with the Army, was it just that you got out and got to explore the world, or was there like, I don't know, like do the rugby have like, I guess when you go to uni where they have like sporting teams as well, like was there any of that? Because obviously, as I say, like you've got a pretty athletic kind of history, and like where does that come from?
Yeah, well, I think when I was a kid, and I was at school, I enjoyed doing 3 things. I enjoyed sport, I enjoyed footy, and I enjoyed talking to girls. And then I saw this advert on the TV about trying to get people to recruit for the British Army. And I remember saying to my granddad, "Dad, my God, they get paid for that. They're playing, they're training every day. They're playing footy, and they're talking to girls." So I literally signed up, and much to my mum and dad's dismay, and I was gone. And it took me around different places around the world, took me into a lot of different situations. You think Wimp to Warriors or cage fighting can be quite daunting. I compare it to sitting at a door of a plane and jumping out. That was you remember when you got in the ring and you realize, oh shit, this is now real. Well, it was exactly the same with parachuting. I did 17 free fall jumps prior to tandem. So this was long before you were strapped to somebody else.
See, I was just going to say, like, I've done both, but I haven't done the free fall. Like, I've done the tandem, and until the Wimp to Warrior experience for me, like that was, I guess, the highlight for me. Right? It was. I always said, like, I've been a big fan of roller coasters and things like that, and obviously I did the tandem, and I went, okay, roller coasters aren't the same anymore, right? They're just not. But for me, once again, I didn't do the free fall. I did the tandem. But for me, then obviously when the cage fight came along, I think that slightly edged out the jumping out of a plane. But I do understand what you're saying. That I remember like going up in this little Cessnock, and the funny thing with it is that you kind of feel like it's actually safer to jump out the plane than come down with the plane, right? Because some of these tandem, things that they take you up in, you really feel like the plane's kind of falling apart, right? So you're kind of like, it's probably the better option. I jump out. But as soon as they open that door and that wind just comes past, it makes quite a bit of a racket, right? And that's I think where it really hits you. Like as you say, you're like, oh, okay, now's the time. Like and as I said, I was really cool, calm, and collected going up, and the guy kept showing me his, I think, the altitude meter and stuff. And he's like, we're still going. But as soon as that door opened, like, I think I've got the video, and my face does turn kind of white, like so. Whoop.
Mate, this was back in the 70s. So first off, there was no guy strapped to me with an altitude. There was no camera coming in from the corner to show the family. This was. You get up there. It's even the parachutes that you use nowadays. You can guide them. You can land them on a dollar. Those things were like massive, huge circular tablecloths that they went one way, and you could guide them maybe a little bit, but not much. And in terms of jumping out, we had this hairy ass sergeant major who would look at each one of us, and then he'd go, "You in the door," and it was red light, green light, and he would encourage us out. And the encouragement was just bang, we were gone. I did 17 of those, 17 free fall. And it was, so I guess that's where excitement started.